you guys through kind of the property here. I'm going to keep my camera turned away from me because if I start messing with things too much, I'm probably going to. So I thought I'd start with rain now. Hang on a second. So real quick, starting here at the front, here we've got obviously the exterior. The house was built in 2001. It's a Schroeder built house. I believe that's probably in the listing. One thing about this neighborhood I will tell you is that we have absolutely amazing neighbors all around us. In fact, Lynn, we'll see if we can get her to wave. Next door neighbor with her dog Percy, fantastic neighbors. So one thing that I absolutely adore about this neighborhood is the neighbors in the neighborhood. There's not a lot of turnover here. People are very friendly. You see a lot of people out walking whenever the weather is nice. Percy has come to say hi. So yeah, very, very, very nice neighborhood. Like I said, not a lot of turnover. Also, in terms of age ranges, you have a lot of young families who are moving in. You also have retired people here. It's a relatively quiet neighborhood, but there is a lot of activity. So you see a lot of kids out playing a lot. And as you've probably heard, Mason schools are great. We moved in about 2 weeks before our oldest started kindergarten at Mason. She is now in grad school in New York City. Our youngest is just about to be a senior at Mason. Both of them have had exceptional experiences with Mason schools. Both of them have done very well. And I have felt that they have had a lot of support from the community, and people here all know one another. So it's been really great to raise a couple of kids here. So the exterior here, the front is all brick. That was done deliberately because in this neighborhood, there are some restrictions. The front of the house can be brick, stone, or wood. We did not want to have to worry about painting, and so the front is all brick. All right, and then that way, I think the only area that has to be painted is either around the door, which that's sheltered, so it doesn't get a lot of wear, and there's a small area of wood trim that goes around the garage. But other than that, you're not looking at having to really do anything for maintenance with the front because of that. The front trees, we have a couple of maple trees here. That's a sugar maple, so it turns beautiful in the fall. And then this is a Norway maple, I think is what it's called. It delivers a lot of shade. So around the front here, this tree right here is going to be blooming very, very shortly. And I will say that I have had on so many occasions, people have stopped me when they're driving by wanting to know what kind of tree that is because it's quite the show off. But there we go. A couple of other flowering trees here along the street. Right now you can't really see anything going on here, but this is a perennial bed. Hostas, ferns, irises primarily is what's in here. And a small apple tree. There used to be a plum tree here, but when it didn't make it, we put an apple and it's been thriving and doing well. Going around to the back here, pine trees here. They were placed along kind of the side and the edge of the property here to deliver some privacy in the backyard when you're back here. So good sized pine trees. And this here is another plant that we get asked a lot about. That's just a hydrangea, but it gets huge and it has huge blooms, and same thing, we get people asking us about it. This tree here, it lines up nicely with the picture window right here in the living room. This is a cherry tree. This is also a bit of a show off. And it has really pretty smelling flowers in the spring. So probably in a couple of weeks, it's gonna smell really, really good. So that's kind of a fun one. I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy. So here's the back deck. We have a raised flower bed here. There's a mix of both perennials in here. There's another apple tree here. And then there's also an area where I've always planted annuals. So it kind of gives you a mix of both. Also along on this side of the deck, there's more perennials here. There's Russian sage, there's peonies, yeah, all that. So that's all perennials. I'll go really quick about the backyard. The backyard is bigger than what people tend to expect. It's pretty good size. It really goes, the property line goes quite a ways back, up quite close to the neighbors back here. And people are always really quite surprised at how far back it goes. So it goes to right about here. And then it basically goes up. I don't know if you can see the utility boxes here, but up that way and up. So it's a pretty good size yard, lots of room. We've had, you know, celebrations back here of various sizes and never felt that we were short on space. We used to have a swing set.
Hey,
yes.
Kelly, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
We do have a question. Are there any rules regarding sheds or pole barns or anything like that?
Yes, there are some restrictions. I don't know exactly what there are. I do know that even fencing and such, there's some restrictions on that. So they're like our neighbors across the street, they have an in-ground swimming pool, which of course required a fence. And so they had to put in basically a fence that was of a specific decorative level. So you couldn't put in like a chain link fence or anything like that. In terms of sheds and such, I do know that some neighbors have some sheds, but I think they tend to be more sort of attached, like as if they're a part of the house, like they'll build it up alongside the house. But I would have to look and see what the restrictions are. There are some restrictions though, I do know that. So I don't think that you could necessarily put a pole barn back here. I don't think that that would be allowed within the neighborhood. But we would have to look and see. I would say, I know there's a pole barn type of, and a house, there's a cul-de-sac back behind here. And back at the edge of the cul-de-sac, I saw that there looked like there was a small pole barn back there. So, and they are part of this phase of the development. So, so I think it has to, there's probably some restrictions as to what you can build, but I don't know exactly what it is. So, but we can find out. So, real quick, raised bed, like I said here, these are blackberry bushes. They're thornless, which makes it even better. And then we have 2 raised planters here, which just getting ready where, you know, could start getting this all ready and everything. These were put in here. We use this as vegetables. So, but yeah, raised planters, utilities right there. One of the reasons we put raised planters here is because we do have underground utilities here in this neighborhood. And because we knew the utility lines were coming along in here, we didn't want to dig down in for gardening. So we put raised planters here. So, and they would obviously stay. And it's right next to the hose. So if you enjoy gardening, you got that as an option. Let's see, let me just kind of go on up around the front because we already did that. Let's see. We'll go in through the front door here, but I will go ahead and kind of real quick show you the garage. We do have a keypad entry here. Typically we have 2 cars in here. Right now, because of, you know, COVID and all that, we've got the bikes kind of down and out, and I've just been too lazy to go ahead and put the bikes away and pull my car in and everything. So, but normally 2 cars fit in here, absolutely no problem. I have a Chrysler Town and Country minivan, which is, you know, pretty good size. We have no problem putting both of them in here. My husband in the past, even though he's driving a smaller car right now, has had a full-size extended cab pickup truck. We have fit that in here, no problem also. The garage We made it a little extra deep so that there was some room for storage here. Okay, and then in a little bit, you'll see going in here, that takes you into the kitchen and the laundry area. So we'll go into there here in a couple of minutes. You can see that. Because it's windy, I'm gonna shut this real quick. All right, so then going on up the front door, we are almost to the point where this gets to be trimmed up, but it's still a little bit frosty out, so we're not doing that yet. All right, the front entrance. Coming into the front entrance here, it takes you right into the living room. There is a full-size coat closet here. Okay. And then going into the living room, you have the cathedral ceiling, stairway taking you down to the basement, which we'll do here in a minute. Gas fireplace. The fireplace is somewhat centrally located here in the house. A couple of years ago, we were without power for about a day, which doesn't happen very often here, I will tell you that. It's been very few and far between that we've had issues with losing power, even though, you know, I thought living in a smaller town it would happen more often, but it was in January. It was exceptionally cold out. We flipped on the fireplace, which has an electric switch, but somehow it surprised me that it turned on. And the house stayed reasonably warm. So even though it was, you know, bitter cold in January, we kept this house at probably about 60 degrees, which was pretty reasonable for us, just having one heat source. And, you know, and we were okay. So there's the living room. And then it takes you right into the dining area. And here's the slider out onto the deck that I showed you a little earlier. And then into the kitchen. With the kitchen, a couple of things. Let's see, we have cherry cabinets, pull-out drawers on the lower cabinets. There's a Lazy Susan here.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes?
Are the ceilings textured?
Not in the kitchen.
Okay.
So
What about in the living room?
In the living room, yes. Let me show you really quick. You can see maybe the difference there. So going from the dining area, can you tell the texture there?
Yeah, yep, I can see it. That's wonderful. Thank you.
No problem. So yeah. Let me go back. I hope I'm not making you guys dizzy here. Let's see. So in here, first floor laundry. And then here's the door that leads to the garage. So like I said, the garage takes you right into basically this mud area and the laundry room, and then into the kitchen. So it's really easy when you're unloading groceries and such. You just bring it right into the kitchen here. Decent, you know, nice amount of counter space. I got to tell you, I'm a person who enjoys cooking. I do a lot of it. I have a kid with food allergies, so we don't do a lot of eating out. So I spend quite a bit of time in the kitchen, and this is a very functional kitchen. There is a lot of counter space to work with. Holidays and such, I've never ran into a problem where I felt like I was tight on space working, and I can have another person in here, like if my mom is over, and we have plenty of space to work around. So this range, it has the dual ovens, has an upper and the lower. There's dinner right there. So, and then overhead microwave. It vents to the exterior of the house. It does not vent right back into the house. So yeah, so that's that. Oh, and I was gonna say too, the laundry room It has a pocket door here. So it's nice because when you have the laundry running, you can shut that and it quiets it right down. So you do have that. And then also when you have it open, you don't have to worry about a door being in the way when you have also this door opening into it and everything. So yeah, pocket door there. All right. So now going back this way, back again through the living area. And then you start getting into the bedrooms. I apologize, I realized when we sent the photos that I did not include photos of the other bath because there is 2 full baths and the photos only show the one. So here's the second full bath. Once again, you still have the same cherry cabinets that you had in the kitchen. Mirror trimmed out with cherry. This is here. This is not something that will be coming down or anything in a move. Shower, full-size shower tub. Okay. So single sink in this bathroom. And then I'll show you the master bath in a minute. You guys probably already know that that's got the double sinks. So there's the bathroom that is not on the photos that I forgot to send in. So I apologize for that. This is one of the bedrooms. So currently this is used as a guest bedroom here. Like I said, one of my kids is off at grad school. However, she's home right now because of all the stuff going on and everything. So she's home currently. So she's been in here. This is a queen size bed. So if you're kind of trying to figure out in terms of scale and such, obviously a queen size bed fits just fine in here. Still offers plenty of room to move around. Okay. And then here we have a full size closet, which has all sorts of stuff in it right now because I have a kid who kind of came home real quick. Okay. And then one of the other bedrooms, it's my son's bedroom, and he is got a double size bed here. So if you're kind of looking at scale for this, so we have had a queen bed in this room before and it's been no problem fitting. However, when he came into this room, he wanted to have a large desk. So we went ahead and said, well, then let's give you a double bed. But easily we have fit a queen bed in here before also. But because he wanted this workspace, we decided to go with the double bed. So that's when you're kind of looking at scale, that's what you can consider. He also has full-size closet here. These shelves and such in here, we put these in here. Those are not built-ins. The closets both have the shelf and rail system here that's built in. These are just cabinets that we got because he wanted to go ahead and have area storage for some of his things. So we did that. He's not the clothes horse like his sister is. So, and then now going into the master bedroom. Oh, excuse me, hold on. Linen closet here. Almost went right by that. So, and now the master bedroom. So the master bedroom, what we have in here, this is a king size bed here. And it fits obviously quite easily. So we have that, plenty of full size furniture to go with it. So these are 2 side tables, which are pretty good size side tables. And then a long dresser along this wall. And then we have a tall dresser over here. I was telling Brock earlier, we were talking about furniture placement and such. And when we moved in, there was a debate between putting that tall dresser there or putting it over here in this space. We determined over there simply because the TV situation. We thought that way we can go ahead and put the TV up and watch from, you know, laying in bed and such. But there's another area here where you could go ahead and put some sort of a dresser type of situation here. And I gave Brock the measurements earlier. He was asking about that. So, but we kind of went back and forth on that. So, And then you have a walk-in closet here. These shelves here, these are affixed. These are part of the walk-in closet there. And then you have the shelf and rail system here. But yeah, this, what you see here in the outline, wood trimmed, those are affixed. So that's part of the closet system in here. Okay. So then here's the master bath going through here. This has the dual sinks. And then also the tub shower combination here. So, in terms of the bathrooms, both of them have the same type of fixtures in them, in that you have the white countertop and the cherry, along with the affixed mirror with the trimmed out cherry also. One thing Brock and I had talked about in listing this house is, you know, the carpeting is original to the house. I think anybody who is considering buying it would want to go ahead and change out the carpeting. We had talked about doing it, and then there was just the idea that I would almost rather somebody who was getting the house put down the carpet that they want or the flooring that they want type of thing. So the carpet, certainly in my opinion, if I was purchasing this house, I would go ahead and want to change that out. Other than that, you know, this tile is in pretty good shape. There's a couple of spots where there's a few hairline cracks. I don't know if you can see it or not. But like right here, just so you know, I don't want anybody to think that, you know, we were keeping that from them, but it's not anything big. And most of the time, you know, when I'm in here cleaning and such, I always am thinking that, oh, I've missed a hair, and I'm like, oh no, it's that. So I just want people to know about that and be informed of it. Master bedroom looks out the front of the house here. So nice big window there. So let's see. Trying to think if there's anything else upstairs. I can take you downstairs. Is there any questions about upstairs? Is there anything that I could show people more before I head downstairs? Any questions popping up with you, Brock?
Nothing new in the chat box yet. I would say go ahead and take us downstairs, and then if anything does come in, then we'll hit it when we come upstairs.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing out anything. So going downstairs here. Oh, we have it's a little bit hard to see because we have the couch here, but there's the railing. It's quite solid, so it doesn't wiggle. So this is an unfinished basement. It's going to be a little dark down here. So we do have an unfinished basement. It's because it's a ranch. It's obviously a nice big basement. It is down here. It is stubbed for an additional half bath down here. So anybody came in here and they wanted to go ahead and finish this basement, it's all set to be able to go ahead and put in another half bath down here. But it certainly gives you plenty of options for storage and finish. When we had originally thought about finishing this some years back, we thought this whole area back here was going to be a large storage area where we have the water softener system and everything. The sump crock is back here. So back here is where there's a sump pump. This basement has always been dry. We have never had an issue with any water being in here. But there's your sump crock and the drain. And like I said, in there, here we have our water softener system. So yeah, we've never had any issues with water down here. Water heater is right here.
Hey, Kelly.
Yes?
I have a question. Do you know the height of the ceiling there in the basement?
No, but I have a tape measure upstairs, so we'll find out. I'll happily do that. That's no problem.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We can do that. No problem. So yeah, when we had originally kind of thought about finishing though, we were gonna take this whole half of the basement and finish it. And there still would be, like I said, plenty of area for storage and such like that. So you could put down here a nice big rec room and still not feel cramped for, you know, storage. Over here really quick, we do have, this is where the reverse osmosis system is set up, and then it snakes up into the kitchen that's overhead. So we do have the reverse osmosis system. This tank is not taking up any space under your kitchen cabinets, so it's out of the way. And then, yeah, this is obviously where we kind of keep our food pantry, which I've always been a person who had lots of food in her pantry. This is not hoarding because of, you know, recent events. So let me go get that tape measure. Let me go grab that, and then when we come back down, if anybody has any other questions about the basement, I can do that. Let's see. Okay. All right, let's see if I can do this. Let me just go right on over here. So if I just go to the top of the wall here, just below the floor joist. Give me a second. I might have to put the phone down for a second. Let's see. All right. I am measuring 7 feet 8 inches to the top of the foundation wall. And then of course, then you have the floor joist here, and then it goes up from there. So, and there you can see the silent floor system. So I don't know if you can read it or not. So, but yeah, so it's certainly enough room that if you put in, you know, a drop ceiling or something like that. Just measure it one more time just to make sure. Yeah, I've got I got 7 feet 8 inches is what I'm showing. So, okay. Are there any other questions in the basement? Furnace. My kid, when he was young, got into the spackle. That's what that is. Toddlers, you know. So, there you go. This is where the dryer vents out to the exterior of the house.
Kelly,
yeah?
Kelly, is there an egress window there in the basement?
No, there are no egress windows here. So we did not put one in. So we were, like I said, we've had no issues with water. When we built here, we didn't know, like, you know, what the water situation was like. And so we were like, we just won't put one in. I grew up in a house in East Lansing that got water in the basement all the time. So I was, you know, like, that's just not something we want. So in terms of the concern with water, but like I said, we've never had a drop of water an issue with that. So, and that doesn't seem to be an issue here in the neighborhood either. So anyway, but.
So Kelly, I'm gonna go ahead and I think that covers the tour. I'm gonna go ahead and hit the stop record button, but then I'll allow people, if they want to ask a question, they can. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording.
Okay, I'm happy to, yeah.